And what's going on, Outcast? It's your boy Chaos DTV here, and today we got something special. We have V Rising. They actually dropped. Stunlock Studios gave us another update, which number 10, which I might have missed a couple of the updates recently, but sometimes they get lost in my email because I am part of their newsletter. But they sent us another dev update, which actually be scheduled as of February 24th, so I am maybe a couple days late, but bear with me. So today we're going to talk about a couple of the newer updates that they got going on. So we have the creatures of Vardaron. So a living world requires living inhabitants that they're dedicating effort to realize the vitality of that atmosphere. Which, for starters, there's some work that the technical artist Philippa is currently doing. She's working on a couple of different systems that revolve around critters and how they'll operate. So from what I'm gathering, it's more along the lines of they're trying to make the wildlife a little bit more, like alive in a way, like that the wildlife interacts with you. So if you're running through woods and you see crows and stuff, they're gonna react to you coming around. So that's definitely quite a neat feature. So as they quote, the system has two parts: the critter's behavior and determining when and where to spawn them. They explain that the critter's behavior is quite simple, that they will mind their own business if you keep your distance. However, should you get too close, they would immediately notice you and flee in the opposite direction. Which, even though this is a little bit piece of that not many people care about, but this actually helps bring the world more alive to your presence, and it definitely, I like that. I like when devs really take that extra time to really make sure, like, hey, this world you're in, like, you're this vampire lord, you're on the come up, you're on the rise, everything. Like, I really like that they actually have the environment work with you, so it's not just this plain stale world that we're in. I love that feature. The next point of topic that they wanted to talk about were the dark steeds with superior breeds. So this basically explains a little bit about the mounts in the game. So the creative director Martin Lagren, also known as Shelt, had some interesting new advances on the mounts from game design. With expansions on the mount system, they're looking to make sure your riding companions look a little bit more fleshed out and interesting. So the early iterations, they found horses extremely valuable but ultimately disposable. They weren't challenging to find in certain areas, and there was a very little unique about them individually. So one horse just as good as another. So from what I'm seeing is there's multiple different mounts that we can use and many different types. In the way that they are randomized quality, so they offering many differences in movement speed, rotation, and acceleration. So naturally, some will feel better to ride than others, and you will quickly find yourself coveting your favorite mount. So instead of it being like most, like, I'm gonna just compare like a couple MMOs or other games that have mounts in the game, this is a little bit more on like a random number generator, like whatever horse or mount you get, it has its own different perks and stuff. So we even make, like, as you're building your empire as a vampire lord, it makes like, hey, my trusty steed is built this way. And of course, when you play with other players, everybody will have their own mounts in a way, so it's not just copy and paste. That's another thing I like here. So let's move on to the animation part of the dev update. So the artists are working on bringing the dreaded elite creatures of Vardaron to life. Our V-Bloods, one of the animators, Olaf Skjold, is bringing life and sometimes unlife to our most dangerous units, giving them the attention they deserve to ensure that the animations display their various unique personalities. Max, the producer Max, has been pushing in broad strokes to expand and refine the world of Vardaron. The preliminary beta tests offer them a lot of valuable data and feedback. So that's interesting. So the starting zones have seen huge changes since our first test, seeing massive changes to how they're utilizing the chunk system, which was all the way back in the fourth dev update. The various parts of the world were arranged into little chunks that we could quickly move around, but the world team has taken these areas built of many individual chunks and fused them, making the terrain more technically cohesive, and it lets them blend the spaces to fit more naturally together and frees them up with some technical limitations. So definitely that's another like neat bit of information that they're trying to, that unlike the critters and all the animals and the wildlife, they're trying to make just the environment itself more lifelike to flush with the characters. So it's not, like I said, you never want to be in a world where it's stale and there's not much going on and You don't want like a what's the best way I could put it? Like a Fallout 76 in a way, for all my fans who were there in the beginning of Fallout 76, how the game was pretty much just what didn't feel alive in a way. So the next topic that we want to talk about is a little bit more on the artwork or the artistic direction of the 2D artist Victor Blomqvist. Victor has a few concepts that he wanted to share, which there are some screenshots, which I will be actually putting them on the screen as I talk about some of the screenshots. Some of the artwork has a concept of blood trails, which is basically an effect players will be following from their blood altars to hunt down powerful V blood rich foes. So follow the scent of the blood and it will lure you closer to more enemies or more powerful enemies so you can take them down and destroy them basically. They also did a little bit of upgrading on the visual effects of some of the abilities, especially tied to the swords ability kit. Now, next one, once again, we go back to like we've been covering a lot of artistic work in today's dev update. Another artistic work goes from trying to make the world a little bit more of that dark Gothic fantasy type. And they do have an closed beta update, which this is very important for everybody. So they said that we're getting closer to kick off the official closed beta testing. We're looking forward to taking all the information from our preliminary beta test and putting it into effect for the upcoming closed beta. We're on schedule to begin testing towards the end of March, and we plan to welcome a new bunch of bloodsuckers to descend on the lands of Votera. Make sure to keep an eye on your inbox, and if you haven't signed up, it's never too late to do so. Just in case, sign up here, which I would actually be linking the sign up box in my description below. So if you guys want to definitely sign up for the closed beta, anybody that's seeing, check in the description below. I will put that entire link. I will also be signing up as well, so I'll be catching you guys on a battlefield as well as a vampire. Last but not least, they actually just finally, Stunlock Studios has launched their very first TikTok account, so if you guys want to go follow them over there, I'll link that in the description below as well. And that actually wraps up today's newsletter, which it's actually, this newsletter was just a lot of artistic direction, and we finally got some leeway where they're going to actually take the closed beta. If they're coming from the preliminary, we're going into a closed beta. I would definitely be trying jumping in. Other than that, what do you guys think about today's dev update? Are you liking the artistic route that they're going with, this dark fantasy Gothic world? The animals move with you, you know, it's not just all about you. The world itself is alive, and you're there for the taking to reap the rewards as much as you can. Other than that, like I said, I'm gonna reiterate back once again, if you want to sign up for the closed beta test for at the end of March, I will be leaving the link in the description below, and I will be signing up, of course. And if you guys want to check out their TikTok account, and I will also link them in the description below as well. And as always, my outcasts, make sure to subscribe. We're growing, we're hitting close to 500 subs. I can't wait. We're building in a beautiful community, strong, well built, great for the outcasts. And also like the video just in case, you know, it helps your boy out with the algorithm. And as always, it's been your host, Chaos DTV, here at Chaotic Inc. Signing out. Peace.
I make a manifest. I don't sleep, that's so weak, don't plan to rest. I'm from a hood where you die if you don't pack a vest. No culinary degrees, but whipping crack the best. Chefing, hard times taught lessons. Praying every night to pull up in park Benzes. What's my home is what you call trenches. You wouldn't last a day seeing life through all lenses. It's all tension, no sun, and rain and plenty. Full-time job, still can never make a penny.